All right, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I know you were pissed. I saw you on Twitter the day that Russell Wilson got traded, and then later on that night, Bobby Wagner getting cut. Those are two very difficult blows for Seahawks fans like yourself.
Just say that sentence again, Bobby Wagner getting cut.
I know.
What the hell is that about? I was and still am steaming about the whole thing. I spent the other day looking at this Locke kid, seeing what he can do. Because some article came out, I think on ESPN, this guy was like, well, Seahawks are looking at him as not a backup, but as a starter. And no, that's not going to work at all unless we're just going to completely go into rebuild. And I can't imagine Pete going into rebuild at, the ripe age of whatever he is.
70. Yeah.
Yeah. That. But yeah, I'm angry. I'm not happy. I think cutting Bobby was, it kind of felt like Russell could, he's been squeaking for a couple years. And so I kind of could see that coming, but the Bobby thing, that kind of tore me a new one. And then, there's rumors of, Lockett being on the block and maybe DK and a couple other players. We didn't sign Diggs. I mean, there's some real stupid stuff that I can't figure out unless we're just going to go relive the 90s, and I really don't want to relive the 90s again.
Well, I mean, look, I don't think they're going to ditch Lockett. That would be crazy, and DK. And then there is a possibility that Seattle could be in on, Deshaun Watson. Should he be?
Watson.
He was not criminally charged in what's been hanging over him for a year. Yeah. He is potentially
22 cases hanging over him that he wasn't criminally charged in. But look, I don't know where I stand on this, but the dude can play football. I know the two offers have gone in on him already with the Saints and somebody else. And we'll see. I think that's going to be very telling about what the future holds if the Seahawks go after them. They might as well use all that stuff they got from Denver to go after a player because we have not been good at draft since, 2012 was the last successful draft we've had with picks. So I'm not holding my breath for that at all, and it's a year for quarterbacks. So we find ourselves in kind of a rough position. It's either rebuild or we make a move, and the Watson move is kind of the only move that I can see to be made right now. If you're going to not waste the career of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan here.
Would be a damn shame.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan here from The Walking Dead on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, so let me just get right to it here. In the same way that Brady, Brady in Tampa, Patriots fans even found themselves rooting for him there, and they're like, okay, it's another conference, so I can root for Tom there. Are you going to become a Bronco fan now, a little bit, Jeffrey?
I don't know. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Oh, God. I find myself maybe rooting more for wherever Bobby goes, unless he goes to the Cowboys.
Why is that a bridge too far, Jeffrey? Why is that a bridge too far? Why would that be a bridge too far?
That's a bridge too far. I actually told Bobby, I said, look, man, wherever you go, I am going to pull for you unless you go to the Cowboys, and then all bets are off. And as far as Russ at Denver, look, I see what they got, and I think that Russell is the missing piece. He went to a hell of a division. I think the 3-4 best quarterbacks of the best 5 quarterbacks are in that division now. So it's not going to be easy, but they certainly have a shot. And if it's Denver versus anybody in the NFC, I'm going to root for Denver. Because I can't root for NFC teams because I'm a Seahawks guy.
Yeah. So you spoke to Bobby?
It just kills me. It just kills me. But I still,
sorry, buddy.
Look, I was at that Super Bowl when we destroyed Denver, and I still have that in my mind. So, I still can look at all those Denver fans and say, ha ha. So, I whatever. He kind of left on his own accord. It's really tough because, he had issues. He had issues in Seattle, and he made them known. So I don't know how much of a surprise that came, but, we need a quarterback.
That's crazy.
I'm more stuck on the Seahawks of it all than the Russell at Denver of it all. I've sort of just come to terms with that part of it.
So do you say you spoke to Bobby Wagner? You connected with him since he got cut? Did you say that?
We tweet.
Got it.
We tweet at each other.
Okay.
It's been pretty quiet, man. I know a couple of reporters in Seattle that called him the day of the trade the drop,
right.
And he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to even talk to him. He was upset, and that upsets me. I think that made me more mad than the Russell thing. I guess I by far a lot more. It was just kind of so disrespectful, and the fact that they didn't call him. You want your team to have some class. We look at some of these organizations, and they don't have any class at all. And I had higher expectations of John and Pete. I really did. And to hear that they didn't even have the balls to call him and let him know what they were going to do, it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I know. He said, I didn't even hear it from them that I wasn't coming back. And that is, but there are other teams that wouldn't have even cut him until everybody filled up their slots.
That's true. Look, they gave him an opportunity to kind of, and he's his own agent too. So he's going to be fine. But he was just like Russell was. They were both such big parts of that community in Seattle, and kind of meant so much to so many people, including me, obviously. That it's a tough pill to swallow. You just want more, I think, from the teams that you root for. I certainly do. But I know it's a business. Hell, we all are locked into some business somewhere, and it's ruthless in all of it, I guess.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Rich, Jesus,
well, I have a feeling, Jeffrey, that if I had spoken to you Thursday night, we would have had to have had a mute button. A lot of earmuffs for children on Peacock right now.
It would have been a complete bleep fest. I really have been trying to meditate and breathe going into this thing today. But even talking to you now,
yeah,
I feel my blood pressure.
I can hear it. I could hear it. I could hear it. I know that you and I appreciate you swapping out the F word for the H word earlier on in this conversation. All of us were ready to.
Oh my God! You caught that. Good. Okay.
Oh, we saw that.
I did that for you and my high school basketball coach, who is a big fan of your show, and I know he's listening.
How nice!
Oh God, I gotta calm it down.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.